Alright everybody, welcome to another video here on Film Vet where we sort out the art of movies. I'm Rylan.
I'm Trevor.
And today we are reviewing the film Get Out, written and directed by Jordan Peele.
This is his first time directing a movie, so it's his debut. It's also kind of a venture from what he normally does, comedy, into horror. It is about a young black man dating a white girl, and he's visiting her white parents for the first time. So there's some precaution, some hesitation there. And so Jordan Peele takes some modern racism issues and some fears of the current day and makes it a horror movie, which many great horror directors have done in the past.
There was a lot of, if you've seen, there's a lot of buzz about this movie. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it just recently went down to like 98 or something, but it was there all the way up until opening day. A lot of buzz around it, and I personally would say, for the most part, it's pretty well deserved. Let's get into some of the different details.
Daniel Kaluuya, I think is how you say his name.
He was awesome. I thought he was really, I thought he did a really good job of being the kind of character that the audience really sees through and experiences everything through, because his acting was so subtle at certain parts, even just down to how he would react to certain things people said. I just thought he had a subtle and really well-tuned performance. And the supporting cast also, I think, all the way around, from the parents of the girl herself, and of course, I don't know his name, but the comedic relief, the side character in this movie.
Yeah, it's like Little Ray or Little Rel.
He was awesome. I mean, it was not expected per se that he would have such a big part in the movie, like of a comedic role. Yeah. But I personally, with the exception of a few scenes, thought that it was really well timed. So let's talk a little bit about the directing of Jordan Peele. What did you think about it?
So it's his first time venturing out into film and horror, and I have to say, man, he knocks it out of the park. If I was to rate this just on like first time shot at just anything, I mean, first time into movies, and then the horror genre, which, as we were talking about earlier, horror and comedies, which this is both, are always criticized the hardest and usually the least well received.
Right, yeah.
And he does such a good job at taking such ambitious ideas and going into two genres that are never well received and doing a great job with it. Yeah. And I applaud him for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say this. I think there was a mismatch in what the movie is and in the marketing. The marketing made it seem like it was just a pure horror movie. And so, thinking about how I was going to review this, I really had to get over the fact that there was a whole lot of comedy.
Yeah, quite a bit.
It really caught me off guard.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you know that it's horror and you know that it's comedy, it's much easier to digest because it does both of those things very well.
I think I didn't have quite as much a problem with it just because I knew Jordan Peele. And so, Key and Peele, if you ever watch the show, have a really good talent for making really well-directed and really clean-cut sketches that really draw you in, but also being very funny. And so, but I could see how from the trailer, the trailers made it look like it was nothing but a very dark and grim story, and there's a lot of humor, but
there is,
but it because of it being, I felt like because of the subject matter, it was almost a satirical and kind of over the top picture of this racial struggle, because the story is crazy, and but when you sit back and analyze the story, which I thought was really intriguing, it doesn't. This is not, if you saw this trailer and you saw that Jordan Peele was directing and you thought, oh, this is just going to be some movie that says all white people are terrible and that's the moral of the story, I think you might be viewing the film a little too shallow if that's what you come out with. It's just, oh, this is directed by a black man trying to say white people are awful. It's actually hinting at a lot more of a nuanced sort of issue about, and I don't want to spoil it or anything, but just going into more of like, what are some of the subtle like ways that racism comes out that aren't necessarily like, oh, we don't like, black people, or we don't like such and such race. It was much more like, sometimes you can tend to be prejudiced and be that way, and it doesn't necessarily come out and you saying you don't like somebody, but it might come out and saying, well, I just like these parts of you and this part of you. And I thought that was a really cool perspective to have from Jordan Peele in this movie.
Yeah.
we've talked a lot about the good stuff, but was there anything about this that you didn't like, that didn't make it 100% Rotten Tomatoes good?
There were a couple things. The first is it's a little tropey. I understand part of why he was doing that, because he's trying to be satirical and comedic, and so he's playing up some of those tropes for this outlandish feel. But the movie felt very grounded and real, and so sometimes that went a little overboard for me. Sure. It felt a little too outlandish. Especially the third act felt almost cartoony to me.
Yeah, it was pretty over the top.
Yeah.
If I had any problems with the movie, it was one particular scene. I don't want to spoil it, but there's one scene of comic relief with the side character where he's he's starting to uncover what's going on, and there's a scene with him and the cops.
Yeah.
And I thought that scene didn't really fit. It seemed a little like we've completely left the horror tension-filled part of this movie, and now we're just in like some like TV movie sketch. Like that scene, I think there was a part of the movie that got a little too caught up with the side character. Yeah. And I felt like, okay, we need to get back to or because I felt like if we don't get back to the movie soon, the tension's it's gonna decrease. We need to stay on track. That was my only big problem with the movie.
One of the things in this movie was it felt like it was either being horror or it was either being comedy, and they didn't always like come together seamlessly. And I think part of that was because it was always, when he'd go talk to the side character, it was always away from the horror.
Right.
And so even if that was necessary and it didn't it didn't have to blend, it was moments where like you said, it felt like it turned into, oh, now we're watching a sketch and we're not watching a movie anymore. I felt like they just lingered with him a little bit too much and relied on him too much. And I think that's just because I felt like most of it was ad-libbed.
Yeah, it did seem a little bit.
And so when you do that, it's easy to stick with it too long, and so they use what they had.
Sure.
But I think that did rob away from the horror. I would say it's a very crowd-pleasing movie.
It was, yes. Especially the climax.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moments of, like, you're afraid, and then you're, hopeful, and then you're afraid, and then you're, like, triumphant. It did have a... Yeah. The movie was very provoking to make you react to things, whether it was the comedy or the horror. I think that was good. Okay, so let's rate this thing. Trevor, what do you got?
All right. So I will say this, that it's so well written. Yeah. The acting in it's phenomenal. The directing is great. Yeah. It really made you feel like you were there and in that character's shoes. And with the exception of a couple jump scares that I thought were a little cheap, I thought it was a solid movie, and I think it's one of the best horror movies that has been made recently, and probably the best out there. Yeah. And so I would give it an 8.5. I think it's a solid movie. I think it's a movie you should see, and a movie I will definitely buy.
Yeah. Just to keep it short for me, I loved the movie. Had a little bit of pacing problems, but even still, I feel like this movie was so like you said, so strong. So I actually am going to give it a 9.5. For me personally, it just really resonated. I left so happy. I loved the ideas and the direction. So together, that comes out to a 9, which is a strong movie. If you've seen critical buzz about this, it's for a reason. Yep. Even though it's not a perfect movie, it's a great first entry for Jordan Peele, and I definitely think I'll probably see it again. Okay guys, so thanks for watching. We've got some more stuff coming your way. Of course, we're going to review the movie Logan. And along with that, we do still have our hate watch of The Last Airbender coming soon. And lastly, if you notice, C-3PO is not there. And that is because we just filmed our very first episode of a new segment called Up for Debate. And our first topic was Star Wars. It was a lot of fun. Trevor and I kind of went head-to-head.
We went at it
a couple of times. Yeah. But the video was a blast.
Just if you like, subscribe please if you enjoy what we're making, and please comment. We'd like to interact with you guys and talk to you about what you think about the films we're reviewing and the debates we're debating.
Cool. All right, that's all we've got for you guys. Have a great week.